Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
What? First of all, the fact that Lester Holt just looked right at her and go, you're lying. That's the vice president there. And I keep thinking to myself, like, you haven't been to Europe as in, like, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Like, you've never been to Europe as the vice president, or you've never been to Europe. You've been a success for a while. I would have figured at some point in time, you'd be like, hey, let's take a trip to Europe. I think we found out why she's not Secretary of State. I just love Lester. He's like, you've never been there. Don't lie to us. No, I've been there. You've never been there. No, you've not been to the border. Oh, you've been to the border before. I mean, from California, right? You were a powerful mover and shaker in California politics. You were the AG. You've been a powerful senator. You've been to the border, but not in a capacity where you could do anything. You've never been to the border at a time when it's the worst it's been in 2+ decades. You've never been to the border where you've got Texas and Arizona who are going, hey, you know what? Even the Democrats in those states are saying, you should go take a look at what's going on, right? You've not been there. And I'm going to say this right now. I don't falter for going to Guatemala. I don't falter for going to Mexico to talk about how it starts. The trek here. How corruption. I don't falter for that. What I falter for is going, listen to her try to explain, like, the place and the border, like on the border. I've been to that restaurant. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Not the answer. The even people on the left are like, oh my God. She's not done though. Speaking of laughing.
And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border. I don't understand the point that you're making.
How do you not understand the point that he's making? The point is simply this. We have an issue. The issue starts elsewhere, but then the giant drama of traveling from the place it starts. The crescendo is the border. You've not been there. You've not been there. You're supposed to be the czar, right? Like this is he looks over you and goes, all right, we're going to give her the border. We're going to let her, we're going to let her deal with this. It's a big, important thing, right? She wants to be president. She can't wait to push me down a flight of stairs, break my hip. It's not going to happen, honey. I'm joking, of course. For those of you like, is that true? Is that like, did you read that somewhere? But the answer is, I've been to the border. I've been to the border. You've never been to the border. I've never been to Europe either. What does that have to do with anything? Not the answer. Not the answer. And of course, she got blowback too for a lot of different things, including saying,
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come. If you come to our border, you will be turned back.
Oh, my God. People on the left attacked her. The whole thing, she is not doing a good job. Let's be honest right now. Her messaging is awful. She is struggling on a few different things, to say the least. And this is your first chance, right? The people are looking at you. You're making an official trip. You are not doing well. Being honest. I didn't mind the And I think a lot of other people say she should have gone to the border first. Right? I have zero problems. You got to go to the place where the problem begins to try to stop it from beginning. Then you can deal with everything else. But she's not handled it well. This has not gone well.
This is the difference between campaigning and governing. And sometimes it's pretty stark. And campaigning, candidate Kamala Harris went to the border numerous times and said, I'm standing with the immigrants and I'm standing with the migrants who she said are being targeted by the Trump administration and that they should be allowed in. Now she makes the statement that don't come, you'll get turned away at the border.
Yeah. Well, and part of that is because the president of Guatemala is like, hey, can you tell everybody to stop leaving our country? So could you do that? Like, I want you to be strong in that. I want you to get out there and be strong in telling everybody, hey, stop leaving the country. I'm trying to fix things here and you guys are trying to leave. Even though I'm corrupt, I'm probably less corrupt than the last guy. But could you tell people that? Campaign and governing are two different things. We see it in everything in politics, right? Campaigning and governing are two separate things. I don't expect her to fix the border and I don't expect her to fix illegal immigration. She's also not going to the airports, right? She's not doing that. And the reason's pretty simple, right? There's no there at the airports. It's not as exciting when people come here and they're like, oh, I'm here legally because I'm supposed to be here on a visa. And then they just never leave. Those things happen a lot too. It goes back to this. The money is in the problem. The power is in the problem. There's no money in the fix. Difference between politics and the private sector. Private sector is find out what people have a problem with. People have a problem with this. Great. I'm going to create a widget that fixes their problem. Oh, wow, that's great. I make money. Politics. What's the problem? Illegal immigration. What's the fix? Well, we can enforce our laws. We can put better laws on the books and actually enforce those things. We can give opportunities for people to come here on temporary visas to work, which will help both the private sector as well as people having the opportunity to come here. It could be a great situation for everybody. It's not going to be 100% fixed, but it will be a pretty good fix. How much money's in that? Nah, it's not in money really in that. That's a problem solved. Oh. Well, what's the other thing? Just allow it to do what it does. We can argue, and then each one of us can raise a ton of money off it. Let's do that one. It's a joke. And she has not handled this well. And the laugh, oh, my goodness me.
It's not happening when they come to the border. That is not what's transpiring from everything we've seen with our reporters on the ground there. But what is really interesting is the progressive side and the push there. And also what's interesting is her answers that devolve into the laugh that really does not help her politically at all.
No, it doesn't. It does not help. That is not helping her. It isn't. Would you say this about a man? I say this about anybody. This has nothing to do. She's more than capable. She's bright. She's sharp. She's ambitious. I think we all know that. You don't have to like her to realize she's done a lot to get where she's gotten to. Right? She is I got zero problems with, I don't think she's an idiot. I don't think she's a moron. I think what she is right now, she's a deer in headlights. And some's been placed in front of her. And the difference between being a senator, where you are one of 100, and being a vice president, where you are one of one. That shows here, big time. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Hope you were doing well. I'm excited. Pumped. Good day. It's Woke Wednesday. We got woke stuff to talk about, of course, because we would not do that for you. We would not have some woke stuff to talk about today. Also, We're going to talk about it. Yeah, the thing that was going around yesterday, this tax thing, and I'm probably going to piss some people off. I am. I'm probably going to make some people upset. Because I love watching the battle of people who don't quite understand what's going on. And I understand the frustration of people when they see certain things. I understand that completely, especially when it comes to this tax thing. Because there's a lot of, and if you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty much out everywhere yesterday. ProPublica got a hold of tax records of the 25 wealthiest people in America, what they paid or didn't pay in taxes. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I also promise you lots of laughs today. So be prepared for that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Omaha Steaks, baby. I was reading this article today, how much we eat, and we've eaten over the years, and what leads the charge when it comes to certain things. And beef, it's what's for dinner. And 78, by the way, on average, we were eating about 61 pounds per year of beef. That's a lot of beef. That is a lot of beef. Beef is good. Omaha Steaks is the absolute best. Father's Day is here. I was talking the other day about my mom, how much my dad used to like to grill. He didn't do it, and this is back in the days. We did the old charcoal style. We used to love to do stuff like this. And, my grandfather's, he used to hold court on Sunday, and I'll go over there and he'd barbecue, and it was just a great thing. And I miss that. And I kind of do that now, but I'm far away from my family. I got my little family here. Jack's coming out in a couple weeks, and we'll barbecue, and it's awesome. And say, hey, Dad, I would have done this for my dad because he would have appreciated this so much. It's the new get out and grill assortment from Omaha Steaks. And by the way, Omaha Steaks isn't just steaks. It's the best steak of your life. It truly is. And with this, you're going to get 59% off right now. You get the ultra juicy burgers, the plump chicken breasts, the sides, desserts, but you also get 4 10-ounce butcher cut New York strips. These are aged 30 days. Age equals tenderness, and you can cut it with a butter knife. It is amazing. It's selling out fast, so you don't want to miss this. Do something for Dad this year. Usually Dad kind of gets the short end of the stick, right? Like Mom gets a lot of stuff, and we're celebrating Mother's Day. Dad's kind of like, don't let this be a throwaway. Get this for Dad, and also probably for yourself, because Dad is going to probably grill some up for you. Top of the 59% off, they're going to also throw in 4 New York strip burgers free. Go to omahasteaks.com. Keyword in the search bar is Chad. That's all you got to do. omahasteaks.com. Keyword Chad. omahasteaks.com. Don't miss out. Grab this now. It's perfect for Father's Day. Get out and grill assortment. Throw in all that amazing stuff in and get 4 New York strip burgers free. omahasteaks.com. Keyword Chad. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
Guess what? New report out about kids and study and school and test scores. What do you think?
Most parents did not need an education department report to say how challenging at-home learning has been. Still, the pandemic study indicates it may be worse than imagined, that in some grades, students fell farther behind in math and reading. African-American students fared worse than most. In Chicago, large numbers dropped out of online learning. In Ohio, black test scores declines were 50% larger than those of white students, losing nearly a half year's worth of learning.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. I think we know what it is. The coronavirus really showed what kind of inequities are out there, especially when it comes to things like the internet. But also, in a lot of these places where the test scores really plummeted, I'm telling you guys, big unions, lots of baloney around stuff. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how bad last year was. And even like in certain places, California, like this year, like my brothers, like Jack has been very fortunate. He goes to a STEM school, which is, it's they're very serious about schooling. like they have Saturday school, and it's kind of like the NFL off-season workouts. It's not mandatory, but it's mandatory. if you know what I mean. Right? That's the kind of school he goes to. It's very, like, this is a really important thing. And they had set up perfectly well their stuff as far as they had really done a good job of setting up the online side of things. Now, it got really crazy when it was like, all right, you guys can kind of go back to school, but the teachers aren't going to be there, but other people will be, and you're going to do Zoom calls with your teachers in your classroom, which was bizarre. Saying that, my little brother's school was awful. Also in California, in Orange County, it was a joke. It's like, yeah, he meets with a teacher, a couple hours a day sometimes. The first 2 weeks, it was like really sporadic where they didn't meet at all. It was awful. But then you've got the other side of things. Kids didn't have real access to internet. Maybe there was a phone that they could learn off of. There was so many different things. Yeah, I think for a lot of kids, maybe a do-over wouldn't be the worst thing. Maybe a do-over wouldn't be the worst thing. Wouldn't be. Probably won't happen. It won't. But I also read that a lot of parents are saying, hey, you know what? I kind of like the fact that my kid was home. Kind of like the fact that I could help out with the education to a point where maybe they don't need to go to school next year. And I said, one of the big losers is going to be public education, because people are going to head more towards private if they have the means. They're going to also want more opportunities for charter schools and to be able to take their tax dollars and put it into private. And they're also saying, hey, you know what? Maybe the kids can do it from home. Maybe they can. And you watch what happens next year. The enrollments are down in a lot of places, and I have a feeling next year it's going to be even bigger. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. A lot of stuff still to get to. Woke Wednesday. Got an interesting piece from our buddy Stossel. We're going to talk on and taxes. Oh, the rich. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
So, Jennifer, you are a registered nurse. You, as I understand it, worked in a COVID unit. You saw the worst of the worst, and I would think that you would want to get the vaccine as soon as it's available, but I know that you have hesitance.
Basically, I just want some more research. We've been seeing a lot in the hospital, like just between, the patients and the employees that I work with, we're seeing a lot of adverse reactions after Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J. They don't have the research to support it or deny it. I think we need at least a couple more years to see any long-term effects.
It's a nurse. You got nurses and doctors suing at one hospital. I think it's 117 for mandatory vaccinations. People are, what if this thing is evil and bad? I don't freak out about it. Look, I took it. I'm 2-3 months into it. I haven't exploded yet. Day's not over. But I feel okay. I spoke last night. I checked into my hotel because I stay a couple nights a week up here, and it's one of those situations where the hotel I stay at is awesome. They treat me really nice, and because they see me, I've been going there since I've moved out here for like 4 years. So I stayed there 1 or 2 nights a week, and the general manager wanted to meet me last night, and I said, and they asked me, they said, we've listened to you. Do you what's your take on vaccines? I told them, look, there's nothing. I said, to worry about. I said, it's to me, I've done as much research as you possibly can. I've spoken to doctors. I've spoken to scientists. I have spoken to the lawyers, if you will, and very little worry. But I understand that. And that's why, look, if you get it or don't get it, I've never had a problem with that. Just like you shouldn't have a problem with somebody who gets it. If you think that they're going to end up becoming a plant, a potted plant, which is one person said, if you think that they're going to end up getting, controlled by the government or, eventually just fade into nothing, let them be their choice. And you not getting it is your choice. And then we move on. We've turned it into a lot of different things, but I understand the hesitancy. I got zero problems with the hesitancy where a lot of other people do. And it's almost like, well, you're not going to get it. That makes you stupid. No, it makes them cautious.
Diana, I want to move on. You have an autoimmune disease. Tell me where your hesitancy lies now.
Usually I have bad side effects from that intervention. For me, that was my hesitancy, that I didn't want to exacerbate my Crohn's disease because I've been in remission for so many years.
Janine, tell me about your hesitancy. What's it based on?
I had COVID in February, so I have natural immunity. There's no reason for me to get the vaccine. There's no reason for me to take the vaccine doses from vulnerable people who need it more than I do.
Yeah. Two valid things, two valid points right there. It's a difference between, I'm not going to take it because I'm going to explode or because you're going to end up having to be a gardener for Bill Gates because they've set this entire thing up, or Fauci wants to control your mind. Those are two valid reasons right there. Two valid reasons. But it goes back to the fact that there's so much disinformation. But also, when I talk, like the two ladies I talked to last night, both of them have done zero research, and they'd only heard from their friends what would happen. And you know what the thing they were scared about the most? Not that they were going to die from it. Not that there was going to be some, weird conspiracy based on the government or this day. You know what they were terrified of the most? That they were going to be sick for a day or two, because all they had heard about is after that second shot, they're going to be sick for a day or two. And I just said, it's all psychosomatic. Have people gotten sick? Yeah. But you hear about that, just like a shark attack, right? You hear about the shark attack. You don't hear about the other million times a day that people have no idea that they've come within spitting distance of a man-eater if it chooses to be so. But that was their fear, and they did zero research on it.
Tell us your hesitancy about vaccines.
A history of just not being able to trust vaccines. I've never been a vaccine guy.
At some point, you did come around and you got the first vaccine.
Yeah, so it's crazy because I'm a DJ, so I travel a lot for work. So my doctor and my wife, they were kind of pushing me towards getting the crazy part. So I eventually I gave in and I got the first vaccine. 2 weeks after getting the vaccine, I contracted it, which really, really turned me off about getting the second one in.
But you're still alive and you didn't get sick. Died. And I understand, I've had it and I've gotten 2 shots. But so much of this is built up in our mind, and we're fighting a battle in our mind right now. And a lot of things, misinformation, disinformation, it is frustrating. It is frustrating. Do some research and then make your choice and go from there. You don't have to do anything else. You don't. But it should be based on some reality. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Again, I always say this at least once a week, and we need to say it more. Challenge your beliefs every day. Challenge your belief. One belief. Is what I'm reading true? I go to this website. It affirms my beliefs, but should I maybe see if there's something else out there? Should I maybe see if there is another side that may have something that's a little bit different than this? Maybe, and you do that, and maybe you come right back and go, no, I feel good about this. Or maybe you come back and go, I'm not quite sure. I might dig it a little deeper. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. I like John Stossel, right? I support his channel. If you guys go, he's got Stossel Productions on YouTube. And I like John because I think the guy is about as real as you get anymore in what goes on in journalism. He's a libertarian now. And I think his whole thing is he speaks the truth. And I think a lot of people out there they want affirmation. They want information. And he did a thing about Facebook censorship. This wasn't about, it was about climate change. But it wasn't so much about climate change as it was about the censoring of things. And that, to me, is a scarier thing at this moment in time.
You must be protected from my videos, says this Frenchman. Amazingly, Facebook lets him censor me. We produced this video about climate change titled, Are We Doomed?
Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
We're not doomed, said these scientists.
It's all about emotion, about sending out kids in protest.
Now Facebook won't show you that video because so-called fact checker told Facebook that it contains partly false information.
All the climate scientists that I know personally agree that climate change is real.
Yeah. So you can't see the video. And it goes back to what we've talked about here, and this is the wokeness world, of the people out there who were going, hey, I believe the earth is flat. And they're like, oh, we should get rid of these people. For whatever reason, we should get rid of them. Well, who are we protecting? We're protecting people. Who are you protecting people from? What are you protecting them from? Again, that maybe that they're going to find out that the earth isn't flat, or maybe the earth is flat, and we don't want anybody to know because you could walk off the end of it. Still hasn't happened yet, but you never know. You never know. What I find interesting about this entire thing, though, with Stossel, is how scary it is that the big tech has this kind of play. Yes, it's their business. But who fact checks the fact checkers? That's the part that, if you're honest with yourself. I was talking to producer Anthony earlier today. You say a lot about the right and the left and the battle that they have. But when I see the fact checkers, fact check something Trump says, it's just a lie, right? And then you're like, well, that's not really a lie, or, some of it is, some of it isn't. And you can, when you see him do it on the left, even when you know it's a blatant lie, they try to put context in it. Well, this is what they meant to say. This is how they meant to say it. This stuff that they've done to him, but they've done to a lot of people. Steven Crowder, if you guys don't know who he is, he's funny. He's one of the big YouTubers out there who's in a lawsuit with YouTube right now. He gets banned all the time. He puts up every single one of his sources where he got it, and it still doesn't matter. Because they're just like, I don't like what you're saying. And that's a lot of what this is. You don't fit the narrative I want to put out there.
But wait. Our video said climate change is real. But Vincent found scientists who disagreed with some of what we said. Only one would agree to be interviewed, Patrick Brown.
What I took issue with was the sea level claim.
Brown says sea levels could eventually rise 200 feet. But you're citing an extreme.
I mean, I don't know if they assess sea level rise out to 1,000 years, but that's what I'm talking about.
1,000 years? They censor me because of what might happen in 1,000 years?
Yes. And by the way, your scientists apparently aren't as smart as other scientists. But it's not just that. Even stuff that's absolutely the truth, they still censor because it doesn't fit a narrative.
My video also questioned the claim that hurricanes are
getting stronger and stronger.
No, they aren't. You can take a look at all the hurricanes around the planet. We can see them since 1970, and there is no significant increase whatsoever.
Misleads viewers, said Vincent. But his own reviewer told me.
And that's true. We don't see a change in hurricane frequency.
That's consensus opinion. Yet Vincent still censors me for reporting it.
I think that's wrong, that you're criticized for saying that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the feeling side of it, because the feeling. And remember what I say, too, the nuance, how they want to twist things. That's the scary thing. Well, this is what this person meant over here, and this person over here, I just don't like the tone.
Later, Brown emailed us saying the problem is omission of contextual information rather than facts being wrong. So their fact check wasn't about actual fact.
You get kind of flagged for being downplaying that it's a problem at all.
But I didn't do that. Our video said the temperature's been rising and it's predicted to keep rising. It's a problem. What's wrong with saying that?
There's nothing wrong with saying that. It's a tonal thing, I guess.
So I'm censored because he doesn't like my tone? Our facts were right.
Yeah. Because it's not even then, it's not even about that. It's about the fact that they didn't like your tone. It's about the fact that you challenge them with things that they can't overcome, which is facts. Feelings override the day in certain situations. That's the scary thing in something like this. It's not the climate change. It's the fact that you have big tech out there doing what big tech is doing now in a way where, yeah, people should be pissed and should be frustrated. And by the way, that's both sides of the aisle. The right, for those of you not keeping score, use social media in a way that is amazing, especially the way that they've used that growth. Trump was the first, but there are many others out there. And at the same time, you have the left, in particular, big tech, doing certain things where you step back and you say, you're not interested in a discussion. You're interested in a narrative. But here's the thing that's amazing, and I continue to tell people this. Green is business. Big green is business. The French guy who's blowing up these videos that go against him, you know what he's doing? He's regulating other people out of the marketplace because climate change is business. Climate change is dollars. Climate change is his business. So how cool is it if I can get rid of my competition? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Climate change, brother. You're a capitalist. Kinda. Love hearing from you. Tweet, text. Raycon, best earbuds around. I've got my Raycons. They're in the car. Charged up my little case that comes with it. 24 hours of charge time. What's it mean? Well, when I am done with my Raycons, I put them back inside the case that's not plugged into anything. And guess what happens? Charges up my Raycons. Crisp, powerful beats at half the price. Tons of colors, new customizable gel that makes, yes, are you ready for this? The inner ear fit even better if that's possible. Built to go wherever, whenever you need to. This summer, don't hassle with wires or stems. Get Raycons right now. The best earbuds around. Period, case closed. 45-day happiness guarantee. Save an extra 15%. They start well under $100. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. 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 Chad Benson Show.
Boys, give me a bowl of chili with plenty of peppers.
One Mexican heartburn. Why don't you mugs grow up?
The Chad Benson Show, where independent, a la carte thinkers have a seat at the table and a voice in the dialogue.
I'll have what she's having.
This is Chad Benson.
Since The Bachelor premiered in 2002, Chris Harrison has steered the drama-filled dating ship.
Congratulations, you've just blown up The Bachelorette.
But he's host of The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and Bachelor in Paradise No More. ABC and show producer Warner Horizon say in a short statement that Harrison is stepping aside as host. They thank him for the past 20 years and wish him well. Harrison has been sidelined from the franchise since February, when in an interview he defended and excused the past racist behavior of a then-current Bachelor contestant. Harrison apologized and at the time said he wanted to continue hosting the show.
No, actually, he didn't. Again, it's one of those BS kind of, he didn't do that. So what happened was, as usual, there's pictures, there's something about a former contestant, right? Rachel Kirkconnell or whatever her name was. At an antebellum plantation-themed fraternity formal. So she's at a party. A picture comes out. It's like 5-6 years old. He didn't go, oh, she totally has the right to do that. Because she said, hey, you know what? Maybe before you destroy this girl, right? Maybe before you blow her up, maybe you can hear her side of something. Give her a chance. No, it's not what we're about now. He didn't do it. He didn't say. That's the insanity of the woke world. It doesn't even matter. Guilt by association. Like something that somebody else did, you could be in trouble, kids. You could be in trouble. It's nuts. It's nuts. And it's sad. But that's as we talk about this on Woke Wednesday, you are seeing things and you hear things on a daily basis. And what I don't think people realize is this happens far more frequent than people realize in day-to-day work world over the last year because we're not there. But I guarantee you, every one of you listening now is well more cautious about saying things. Oh, well, yeah, that's good. That's what you want. No. You're cautious about even expressing something that might be absolutely true about something because the fear of getting you in trouble is real. The fear of having a conversation with somebody that is totally fine, but somebody takes that out of a context and gets you in trouble is real. This was baloney. Look, I sit back and I say, yeah, it is what it is. But you got to fight back against it, and companies need to fight back against it. And it's not fight back against stuff that's real, that's racist. It's about addressing real issues, but it's also about saying, all right, you know what? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is a step of ridiculous, so we're not going to take. Because every time you allow them to push and you're like fine with it, comes back and haunts you. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Our politics is fractured at times. But it's working the way our founding fathers at times wanted it, right? Like we wanted to make sure that we didn't have one party rule. The fight right now over the filibuster. Everybody hates Joe Manchin because he's evil and bad. Oh, Joe Manchin's bad. How long until that guy's like, you know what? I can't work with you guys anymore. I'm just going to be independent. I can't do it. I'm not going to kill the filibuster. I'm not going to do a lot of this stuff that you guys want me to do. It's just not going to happen. It isn't. And, of course, they fight over stuff. And, it's politics. Like politics, I was telling producer Anthony today, here's the thing about politics. It can ruin anything when politics is involved. And you're going to have a little bit of politics every now and then. But I look at it and I think to myself, it can ruin anything. See, you've Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, arguably the greatest things ever. It's arguably it. It's the internet? Nope. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? Yeah. Space travel? Nah. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? Absolutely. Modern medicine, the vaccine for polio? Nah. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? 100%. Politics got involved in the making of Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. This is the way it would have gone. Hey, I've got a great idea. It's this thing called chocolate. Oh, that's very interesting. Other people are like, hey, I got a great idea here. So it's peanut butter. Oh, it's really interesting. Maybe we could merge the two and see what that looks like. Yeah, we could definitely think about that. Oh, here comes the politicians. Hey, guys, want a piece of that, right? Want to make sure it's regulated and safe. Yeah. And we're also going to do a couple other things. We brought along with us anchovies, which is a pal of mine. He makes anchovies, and he really wants to be a part of this as well. Yeah, those things are gross. It really doesn't matter. Next thing you know, they've screwed everything up, right? They've screwed it all up. And then over here, you've got other people going, hey, these people who make chocolate, they're evil and bad, and they're crazy. And the people over here who make peanut butter, they're evil and bad as well. And then you got, again, anchovy. It's a mess. But as bad as it is, it's not as bad. I want you guys to Google this. It's a fight in the Bolivian legislature between Henry Ramiro against a member of the ruling socialist MAS party, Antonio Colloqui. And it was a hockey fight. It was chaos. It was crazy. If you've not seen it, I think to myself, yeah, we have our issues, right? We ain't no doubt about that. We got our issues. We're fighting about a lot of different things. I've not seen that yet. I've not. Now, we've had our chaos on the 6th of January. And that's, still to be determined what that eventually looks like. Because, of course, they've got the ruling, not the ruling, but they've, come out with their report and nowhere is mentions Trump and nowhere is the word insurrection because they wanted to have a bipartisan, report come out. So there was a lot of issues there. But we've yet to see our guys and gals throw down there. Not saying it can't happen, right? But I just don't think it's going to happen. This was a good one, too. It was a full-on hockey fight. We need that at work. I've always said that. Just let's throw down here, right? And then everybody can go to their cube afterwards and get 5 minutes for fighting. Jim's being a Richard. No way. Yeah. Steve, I don't like you and I've never liked you. I think you're a jerk and you talk behind everybody's back. You want to go? Oh, I want to go. And everybody just clears the floor. Right? And just like in hockey, when the guys throw down and they're getting ready to square off, everybody starts moving their gloves and their sticks so nobody slips and falls. And then you just go. Pencils flying everywhere, pocket protector. And then eventually the boss runs in, after they're both on the ground, he taps them out. And then they get up and then they go off to their cube. And then you've got it behind you. Maybe we need some of that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Mrs. Harris, the Vice President of the United States of America, went over to Guatemala yesterday. She was with the President of Mexico, Obrador, talking about the essentially how illegal immigration really begins. What's going on? What's the root cause of all of these things? Then she had to sit down with Lester Holt. Lester, he threw the real hard questions at her.
Okay. Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point.
By the way, that's not a hard question. I'm being funny there. Do you have any plans to visit the border? It's pretty simple. What would your answer be? Yes, at some point I'm getting to the border. Absolutely. I wanted to come here first because I want to see what's going on in the Northern Triangle. I want to see with my own eyes what's taking place here. I want to talk to the people on the ground. I want to have a real understanding of how this is continuing and why it's picking up now. That's a good answer. Let's see what she says.
To visit the border.
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
The answer that she shouldn't have given was that one. The other answer is, yeah, we're going to get to the border. They should move on. Her answer was, yeah, we've been to the border. We've gone to the border. We're actually at the border right now. I can't be any more bordery than I am at this moment in time. And he's like, you've never been to the border. That was not good. It wasn't. It doesn't make people feel good about this. Even people on the left were saying, well, that's not the answer that you should be giving a more complete answer about why you took the trip. I didn't falter for the trip, but the border should have been part of it. Going and finding out what the root cause of this is, which we know what it is, but at least getting a firsthand glimpse of what's happening over there. Plus, the president of Guatemala is telling everybody, hey, you come here. Can't wait to meet you. By the way, tell everybody to stop leaving our country. Tell people that. Tell people to stop leaving our country. People got mad.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come.
Oh, AOC got mad, right? She can't do that. She was on with old Chris Hayes.
This is also climate policy that is impacting the global South disproportionately, even though these farmers and these folks in Central and South America contributed to climate change the least in terms of their carbon emissions. Right. They are experiencing the ravages the most right now and first. And so U.S. climate policy has contributed to this. U.S. foreign policy, U.S. economic and trade policy has helped contribute to conditions that people are fleeing. And
she's got a point there in some of it. Some of it's a lot more, look, we touched on it yesterday. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, with the fear of the dreaded red machine that was the Soviet Union, the thought of socialism potentially becoming communism with the likes of Cuba and an expansion throughout regions that are close enough for them to do some things and be on our doorstep was never going to happen. Sorry, just wasn't going to happen. Just wasn't going to happen. But corruption in those countries, yes. Drugs in those countries and the production of drugs in those countries was a huge thing as well. There's a lot that goes into it. But you can't win. Immigration's never going to be solved because there's not enough money into solving it. If you could figure out how to make money in solving a problem in politics, they'll be all over it. They'll be like, we got to do this. Until that moment, be prepared to watch things like this over and over again with bad answers about we've been to the border and laughter and which, by the way, is just that's not helping.
And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border. I don't understand the point that you're making.
You should understand the point. Why it's important. You should. But you don't. Because you felt unprepared. It didn't start out good on Sunday when you had to turn the plane around after 30 minutes, and it's not been great since. And you're the one who's supposed to be in charge of it. I don't expect you to fix it, because I think anybody who's got half a brain realizes that while you are vice president and you have some power, at the end of the day, this is much bigger than a singular person. This is much bigger than one party in even one nation. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. And you guys have to see. You guys just have to see that fight. It's amazing. They're just like, and this one person in the Bolivian government who's fighting, the one guy's got a suit on, the other person has on like I guess what would be their like a lot of their native dress to Bolivia, and he's got like this hat thing on, and it's a throwdown. It's just And what I like is some people are watching, some people are helping, some people's like, no, I want to see where this goes. Hey, little guy's spunky. Let's see what happens. Let's just see. My Pillow. Right now, the My Pillow is on sale. Normally it's almost $70 now. It's $29.98. So you get $40 off. $5 more for a king size. Different. I mean, they've got different deals across all of their stuff, and it's easy to get. You go to mypillow.com. Use that promo code Benson. You got the My Slippers. You've got the sheets, the Giza Dream sheets. You got the towels. You got everything. And it's all at your fingertips. It truly is all at your fingertips right there. When you go to mypillow.com, use that promo code Benson. You get a 6-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty on these. And it is the one that started it all. You're going to sleep better. It's washing machine dryable. I sleep with my MyPillow. Check out the mattress topper, which is awesome. It really is. To get deep discounts on everything, go to mypillow.com, promo code Benson. mypillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending.
What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending?
Let's take a peek and see what's trending. Start Google. Shirley Temple, 2 million searches. Google Doodle honors the star. She was a child star. She was the biggest star, by the way. She received an Academy Award, honorary Academy Award at age 6. Yeah. She was earning $1,000 a week, 16,000 fan letters a month. She retired from the film industry in the 20s when she was, 20 years old. She became politically activated. She was a rep. She died in 2014 at 85. But she went on to, be a representative of the United Nations. She was ambassador of Ghana. I don't think people realize that. Kanye West. And he released his stuff at The Gap. It's got some sort of clothing thing. His first thing that came out sold out like that. Like that. Rick and Morty. A lot of searches yesterday because apparently it's going to be a movie. Imminent. By the way, I love Rick and Morty. It's my favorite show right now. If you've not seen it, it is great. Bitcoin is trending because El Salvador is the first country to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. Head on over to the magical world of Twitter. Hunter Biden, apparently in some text messages, he dropped the N-bomb. So there's that. Oh, yeah, that's not very good. No. Chinese youth are trending because they're joining a mass movement to lie flat after watching their friends work themselves to death. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Work balance life is a good thing. Work balance life. But you're not going to have that 50-50. Doesn't happen like that. I think people do think that you can. And here's something for you. Happy 60th birthday to Michael J. Fox. Happy 60th birthday there. 60 years old. Marty McFly. Soak that up for a second. Oh, wow, 60. Yeah, Alex P. Keaton is 60. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from every single one of you. Phil, I saw the story today and I thought of you.
It seems everything is getting more expensive, and that includes lobster. It's now going for $13 to $14 a pound. The reason? Good old supply and demand, especially outside the U.S. Prices dropped to about $8 a pound last year as COVID-19 grounded flights to places like China. That's the world's largest market for the crustaceans. Adding insult to injury, butter is also getting more expensive due to increased feed prices for cows.
Yeah. So the sea flea is more expensive. And I say that because there's a great article today. It's in flowingdata.com talking about how we consume food. They've been keeping data from the 70s to 2019. So beef in 1970 was it. We ate almost 61.5 pounds of beef in 1970. Chicken now tops it by 54 pounds. Beef has dropped down to about 42 pounds a year we consume. Vegetables, potatoes still rules the roost. 41 pounds back in 1970. Now it's only 22 pounds. Fruits, though. Apples were number one in 1970. Bananas were number two. There was a quick flip in the 80s, then a quick flip back, but now bananas rule the roost, period. 14 pounds. Orange juice continues. Dairy, though. This was the interesting one. 1970, we consumed almost 18 gallons of dairy. Milk in particular. Now, 4 gallons per year. Ooh. And cheese. We consume a lot more cheese, by the way. Just to let you guys know. We really like our cheese. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Taxes, baby. What are the rich trying to do? They're trying to say, there's nothing certain in life but death and taxes. And the rich are saying, we're working on both of those right now.
The numbers revealed in the report from the investigative group ProPublica are staggering. In 2007, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos made $3.8 billion. But Bezos, now the richest man in the world, paid nothing, not a dime, in federal income taxes that year. Same story for Tesla billionaire Elon Musk in 2018.
Both of those, that right there, that entire thing, that's a lie. What he just said, it's a lie. But Chad, net worth and income are two separate things. Okay? You have a house right now. Chances are your house has gone up in value. So with the housing market the way it is right now, we have a very little supply, a lot of demand. So let's say you live here in Phoenix where housing prices have gone through the roof and you bought your house for $150,000. And over the last year, you've seen it to go up to $300,000 or maybe even $400,000. Oh, so I made like 250 grand potentially. Yeah, it's potential. $250,000, $300,000. You've added to your net worth. It's not real income. It's not real income. That doesn't count. Your net worth has gone up on paper, but that's your house isn't giving you any cash. So yes, their net worth went up as far as what they made, but they didn't realize that in dollars. Because their stock is where most of their money is. It's not just them. There are others.
Buffett declaring in a statement, quote, I continue to believe that the tax code should be changed substantially. Bloomberg's team saying, quote, what Mike gives to charity and pays in taxes amounts to approximately 75% of his annual income. Bezos and Musk have not commented on the report. Meanwhile, the investigation into how ProPublica obtained the IRS data is ramping up.
And that's a bigger issue. How did you guys get a hold of this? How did you get a hold of this information? How did you get people's personal information? I think it's a fair question to ask people, right? Like you've got people's tax returns. You've gotten a hold of people's tax returns. Well, what they're doing is evil and wrong. We can talk about the tax code all we want. I got zero problems with that. We can talk about a lot of that stuff. But what they've done isn't illegal. You may find it to be atrocious. You may find it to be ridiculous. But it's not illegal because a majority of these people don't make an income like you and I make. They've got stock offerings. They have other stock. They have other homes, investments. They pay taxes on the income. But if your stock goes from $1 to $2, but you don't realize that profit, you still have nothing. Because tomorrow that thing could drop to zero. So that's how this thing works. And people freak out about it. I get it. I totally understand. This is where, they're going to go and say, hey, we should do this great thing called a wealth tax. And we'll just start taxing people based on how much their net worth is. Well, who gets to decide what their net worth is? What day did they get to decide that? Is it going to be a random average of what, celebrity net worth thinks you're worth? How does that even work? We're going to take your holdings? Well, these guys have 7,000 holdings. Somebody, for example, like Warren Buffett, who, is always saying they go after, but he's always saying, hey, you know what? My whole thing is you should fix the tax code. He doesn't take any money out. Larry Ellison, Elon Musk. What do? They borrow. They go and say, hey, I want a cheap loan against the stuff that I have. Here's my security. I have $50 billion in stock. Give me a $10 billion line of credit. Well, you're not going to pay any tax on that. It's a loan. You're not paying a tax on a loan because I got to pay it back at interest. So I'm not paying tax back on that. Oh, yeah. There's that. That's how they work around these things. It's not illegal, but I get why people are pissed. I do. Isn't that what we're all striving to do? Let's make a lot of money and figure out how we can pay the least amount in taxes. Not that you don't want to pay taxes. Like everybody says that. Like nobody's going, oh yeah, I really love paying taxes. Like the greatest thing in the world. Like I fight all the time with, it's like, okay, I give here and I give there and then, it's like, oh, well, this state says you because you made money in this state or you still had an address showing that you were in this state. We want our money from you, even though you didn't live here. I mean, it's the battle that goes on a daily basis. Sometimes when I'm sitting there talking to my accountant and the person that deals with my stuff, it gets frustrating. It does. But I don't get a paycheck like regular people. I have a couple other businesses, and the way I write everything off, I mean, I pay for everything. The risk is I invest a lot of my money back into the show, back into my other business. So it's very interesting. And I don't think a lot of people do that because a lot of people do what? They get a paycheck. They get a paycheck, and their paycheck comes in. And everything's taken out, and that's what your paycheck is. Uber rich people, well-to-do people, people who are 1099, right, who independent contractors, doing the things, they do everything in a much different way. They didn't do anything illegal, but it very interesting about all this and watching the fight that went on with this over the last 24 hours. Now people say, now it's time to go after these people. Now it's time to come and eat the rich and do those things. I don't think it's going to happen the way that people think. And I think the frustration level's not going to come from the fact that they're making money. It's going to come from the fact that the government has put in place things that people are just now starting to notice when it comes to the tax code. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from every single one of you. The love, the hate, everything in between. You guys might remember this story. Tanner Cross.
My name is Tanner Cross, and I am speaking out of love for those who suffer with gender dysphoria. 60 Minutes this past Sunday interviewed over 30 young people who transitioned, but they felt led astray because lack of pushback or how easy it was to make physical changes to their bodies in just 3 months. They are now detransitioning. It's not my intention to hurt anyone, but there are certain truths that we must face when ready. We condemn school policy because it will damage children to defile the holy image of God.
Yeah, so Tanner Cross was a teacher who refused to play the game, as he essentially called it, right? So, here's a Virginia elementary school teacher. He was suspended for the gender policy. As being said that you have to, they, them, thou. I don't even know what to say. Z, is that one? Everybody wants to be. It's about pronouns. Like that's a lot of what this. It's all about pronouns. It's all about pronouns. So he was suspended. Well, court was ruled in his favor, and he is now going to be unsuspended. And we were talking off air about, it doesn't fix the problem with kids who have issues with gender dysphoria or whatever issue they have. And no, it doesn't. And let's remember, too, it's like we've had Abigail Schreier on. She's got her book out about this that got so much pushback over the last several months where like Target took it down and everything because the people that are about the, 5,000 pronouns and 7,000 genders came after the woke crowd on this Woke Wednesday came after. And she interviewed hundreds of doctors and people that have transitioned and transitioned back, and it's having a conversation. But so much of it's based on like a pronoun. Well, so-and-so wants to be called they. Well, what's so-and-so's name? Is their name they? Are they going to be called they? Is that their name? No, their name is Carlotta. I don't know, just give somebody a name. Rebecca. Okay, then I'll call him Rebecca. I'll call her. Rebecca's your name. Yes. Okay, I'm going to call you Rebecca. Yeah, but I want to be known as my pronoun. I'm not going to call you Rebecca, they, them. It's not going to happen. You're going to get a name. Whatever name you choose to go with. And by the way, you get one. You get one change. There's no going back, right? This is one of those easy buttons at Staples where it's not working. It doesn't. No, it's you get one and we're going from there. But it is insane. It truly is. And I always go back to, what do you want to be called? By the way, I don't like my friends who are identifying as male. They have names, and I just, whatever their name is, I call them. Phil, my producer, Anthony, my producer, my friends, I call them Phil and Anthony. I don't call them they, them. I don't call him he, him, her. That's their names. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? So they've reinstated him, and I think rightly so. And again, some of the stuff he said that pisses people off, I totally get. But I also think he's right.
I love all of my students, but I will never lie to them regardless of the consequences. I'm a teacher, but I serve God first, and I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa, because it's against my religion, it's lying to a child, it's abuse to a child.
You can identify as something, but at the end of the day, underneath all of the meat skin and the bones is what it is. Is what it is. And we're doing that more often. We're lying to kids, not just about gender, but a lot of different things, because we've allowed feelings to override facts in so many ways. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Rough Greens makes every pet food better. So with Rough Greens, my dog Doodle, who we talk about, he's awesome. He's fun. He wasn't, though, for a while. He was really, really bad. He just struggled. He struggled in a lot of different ways because of his hips. We were kind of at our ropes, and we said, at the end of the day, let's just make him happy for a couple months, and we're probably going to have to put him to sleep because he's biting too much and stuff. So lo and behold, we started K9 VitaSmart Rough Greens, the supplement with vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, probiotics, all the stuff. We started giving it to him. Within a couple of weeks, we noticed real difference. Within a month, we're like, wow, we're 16, 18 months into giving it to him. We give it to him every single night, along with our puppies. He is a changed dog. He's healthier. He's happier. He's bouncier. He is a dog that a year ago you wouldn't have recognized. Rough Greens wants you to try it before you buy it. You go to ruffgreens.com/Chad. When you do that right there, they're going to send you a bag for free. You pay for shipping. Ruffgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MY-DOG-77. 833-MY-DOG-77. You pay for shipping. You get a bag free. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
Watermelons are very popular. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. This is great. This is awesome. It's quite a day for New York Times. They were down for a while because of that whole glitch with Fastly and, a bunch of sites, Amazon, the UK, the UK government website was down. New York Times. Then somehow in the afternoon, there was an article. There's a New York Times article talking about fields of watermelons found on Mars. Watermelons are very popular. They are. You know what else is popular with watermelons? Apparently crushing them with your thighs.
This is just not something you see every day. Okay, a news story is shattering the mold and records. So Girl Clothing opened in downtown Las Vegas just yesterday. And as part of the opening, its founder, Courtney Olson, reclaimed the world record for fastest time to crush 3 watermelons between her thighs. Yes, that is a world record. She smashed all 3 in 7.63 seconds.
Because that's what you do. It's like, you know. So that's like, you could think like, who can we have show up here? Because we need it. We're opening up our store. And we're really excited about it. I can't wait to see, you know, how many people we can get here. What is our store about? Oh, well, our store's about a lot of things. It's a clothing store. So, yeah, it's a clothing store. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Why don't we get like a young, hip influencer in here? Somebody that's got a lot, you know, we'll bring them in and they can talk about how great our product is. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we could do that. Maybe we get a band to come in? Oh, we could totally do that. Oh, there's this girl named Courtney Olson. She crushes watermelons with her thighs. That's what we're all about right there.
But I'm about to turn 40, and I'm like, my life is just starting. Don't try and tell me we can start using 5-pound dumbbells. I want to see women deadlifting for the first time in their lives and really flipping that switch and getting that mentality.
That's what I want to see, too. That's what I want to see. I want to see women crushing watermelons. Usually, you have to pay extra for that. So insane. It's insane. Oh, my goodness me. You step back, kids, and you think to yourself, how did we get here? Our first world problems. Some people don't have enough food. We have so much of it that we're like, I'd like to see somebody crush these between her thighs. That's not a weird thing to see. Oh, it's a little hot. I'm just getting started. What do you guys see what I crush next? Your soul. By the way, if you've not seen Miss Courtney Olson, she looks like she could potentially crush your soul. That's all I'm saying. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. I'm like, would you find her on OnlyFans? Courtney, I think you're hot. Is there any way you could kill a muffin with your toes? I saw this act. It was called Gallagher. And then his brother stole his act, which is another great story. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
So, Jennifer, you are a registered nurse. You, as I understand it, worked in a COVID unit. You saw the worst of the worst, and I would think that you would want to get the vaccine as soon as it's available, but I know that you have hesitance.
Basically, I just want some more research. We've been seeing a lot in the hospital, like just between, the patients and the employees that I work with, we're seeing a lot of adverse reactions after Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J. They don't have the research to support it or deny it. I think we need at least a couple more years to see any long-term effects.
She's vaccine hesitant. Oh, no. Yeah. A lot of people are. Get over it. Some are never going to get the vaccine. Like, I feel like what we're doing now in begging people and trying to say, all right, you know what? Let me tell you about this thing that you can win. Does this make you want to take a vaccine more? Look into my... No. People get the vaccine when they're ready for it. The people who haven't gotten the vaccine will get it when they feel comfortable. Make it their idea. That's it. Just make it their idea. When they feel comfortable. You lead a horse to water, can't make it drink. Horse knows eventually, I got to take a drink. Some horses don't, they die, right? But those horses are crazy. But eventually, they're going to go, all right, now it's my turn. I do need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink. So I'll do it. When it's time, they feel it. I understand people are worried about it. I get it. We're past that point now. Life's pretty much back to a mostly normal way of life for a majority of the country. So, Producer Phil, you're out there in Virginia. What's it like there? Normal?
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Yeah. When's the last time you wore a mask?
Yesterday, because I had to go to the grocery store.
Oh, so you still have to wear one in the grocery store?
Well, they lifted the restrictions, but they still have signs up saying you got to wear a mask, and I needed groceries, so I wore a mask.
Okay, there you go. See, for me, last night I went to my hotel, I checked in, and they say, mask required, and I didn't really know if that's true. I thought I could put it on. The two ladies behind were wearing a mask, but not very well, like chin diaper. And that's the first time I said, you guys still doing the mask thing? And I said, yeah. I said, this is the first time I put on a mask since I was here last week. I said, I haven't worn a mask anywhere else. I don't wear a mask anywhere else. It feels like it's back to normal. They were hesitant. They were asking me, so did you get a vaccine? I'm like, yeah, I got a vaccine. They said, were you scared? I'm like, of the vaccine? No, I'm not scared of the vaccine. I said, kind of what I do is I research stuff like this so I can talk about it. And I said, I know what kind of technologies, this technology isn't new with the Pfizer and the Moderna. That technology is not new. It's new to this situation, but it's not new. It's been around a while. And I said, the old technology with Johnson & Johnson, which is the one shot. But the thing that they were worried about the most, wasn't turning into a plant, wasn't being tracked by the government. They were worried about being sick after a shot. That was interesting. And I said, look, the majority of people that get the first shot or second shot, they don't get sick. You hear them talk about it because it makes for great news. It does. Oh, I should warn you guys. Like when I went and got my second shot, they're like, you're going to be sick tomorrow. I'm like, no, I'm not. But everybody is. I said, no, they're not. But you're not going to feel well tomorrow. I said, I'm going to feel fine. I said, I'm not everybody. And I said, stop telling people that they're going to be sick. You're telling them that. Psychosomatic in a lot of ways. But you got to let the people that are hesitant come. There's nothing else you can do. Begging them, pleading with them, those kind of things. It's not going to work the way you think it's going to work. And the people that are never going to get a shot, let me tell you, they're never going to get a shot. It's never going to happen. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I just find this funny. I do, when you're talking about like vaccines. I still get it. Oh, you've been vaccinated? Yeah. Aren't you worried? I'm like, about what? That I could explode? I figured it would have happened by now. That I could, be tracked by the government? I got news for you, brother and sister. I think that ship sailed a long time ago when we opted into everything ever. Tell me what it is. Oh, it's unproven technology or it's what, that's fine. But to listen to some of the stuff, and I get it every day. I do. I get it every day from people that send me stuff saying, I'm never going to get it, and this is why. And I just say, good. That's great. That's a choice. The beauty of the world we live in is choice. And you have to do what? When you're going to make these kind of choices, you have to assess. And you have to ask yourself, how real is this or isn't this? Could this thing affect me to the point where it could kill me? Could it be absolutely a nothing? Is it worth it all? Those are real questions. And you ask yourself that. And then you go from there. But you make your own choice. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson. Share with your Twitter. Tweet at us and text the program. She visited not the border, but she visited the Northern Triangle. She visited Mexico. And she also sat down with our buddy Lester Holt. He's not our buddy. He doesn't even know we exist. But she tried to... Lester starts out with a hard-hitting question. Just listen to Vice President Harris here. Of all the answers she could have given, this one would have ranked at the top of whatever you do, don't do this.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
So wait. You're going to visit the border. I'm going to visit. We're going to soon. I've been to the border. I have been to the border. I have been to the border. You've never been to the border. Oh, I've also not been to Europe. That's your comeback? You almost hear her talking herself into it. Like, I've been to the border. I can do this. I could do this. And then he's like, you can't do this. He's like, yeah. You don't know if I can or can't. No, you haven't been to the border. You've been there before. You know where it's at, obviously. But you've not been there now. I don't fault you for going to find out firsthand what's going on in places like Guatemala and several other places. That is zero problem with that. I think other people did. I fault you none for that. But that answer was not a good answer. The laughing is not a good answer. People have serious questions about what's going on with immigration. Because during the debates, the president, your boss, said, and I quote, we're going to get a pathway to citizenship for 11 million people, which we all know it's not 11 million. Then subsequently, once you got rid of the protections that were in place for people here in this country, as far as people coming here and migrating here illegally, and the protection for our laws to make sure that they did it the right way by staying on the other side of the border where they applied for asylum. And once they got rid of that and people just, hey, it was like, come on down. And now we're facing rates of immigration illegally that we haven't seen in a very long time. 2 decades plus. So it is an issue now. Because as we get further away from the COVID nightmare, other things are going to come into play with the Biden administration, and this is a big, big one.
This is the difference between campaigning and governing, and sometimes it's pretty stark. And campaigning, candidate Kamala Harris went to the border numerous times and said, I'm standing with the immigrants and I'm standing with the migrants who she said are being targeted by the Trump administration and that they should be allowed in. Now she makes the statement that don't come, you'll get turned away at the border.
Don't come. Don't do it. And part of that's because Guatemalan President Giamante wanted that. Campaigning is different. We see it all the time, right? You know, white politicians go into predominantly, African-American neighborhoods and they're, we're going to come back. You're going to come back in 4 years or 2 years whenever you need our vote. You're not coming back outside of that. This is a real issue, and it's an issue for people on the other side of the border. It's an issue of people who come here and overstay their visas. It's an issue for a lot of different reasons. And it needs to be addressed. And it's not been addressed, and it's continually not being addressed. And this administration will address it in the way that they want to, which is the way that most administrations, past and present, do, which is suck the life out of every penny you can get from every donor and every constituent while saying all I need is a little bit more money and time to fix the problem. And that's a sad thing. I don't expect her to fix it, but what I do expect politicians to do is at least act like you care. Act like this isn't a throwaway. Act like this is my job. I do want to find out what's going on. I do want to find a fix. I'm not guaranteeing that, but I'd like to. Act like this is, because that's what it feels like. Oh, God, I got to do this again. No, act like, yeah, I really want to get to this. I want to get to it. It's going to take time, but I really want to put my energy into it. Instead, it's more like, oh, God, really? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. MyPillow. You got new deal. It's awesome. $40 off the original MyPillow. Queen size, $29.98. $5 more for a king size. 6-day money-back guarantee. Machine washable and dryable. It's never going to go flat, right? So it's always fluffy and nice. You get that 10-year warranty and that 6-day money-back guarantee. It's what started it all. You're going to sleep better. Here's the other thing about MyPillow that is amazing. So they have all kinds of great deals on all of their stuff right now. So you got the Giza Dream Sheets. That's what I love. You've got the mattress topper, which is incredible. The My Slippers, the towels. Check it out for yourself. You go to MyPillow.com. There's a radio listener special right there. And you just type in code Benson and you're going to save on all of these deals, including getting the MyPillow for $40 off, $29.98 for the original, $5 more for the king size. MyPillow.com. Promo code is Benson. MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
Denver, Colorado, Rocky Mountain oysters. And basically, it's just, they're definitely not oysters whatsoever. They have nothing to do with an oyster, I can tell you that much. When you experience a part of an animal that you never thought you'd experience before, it's going to change you as a person on the inside. When I went to take a bite, I looked at it for a moment because I was still, reluctant to even take that bite. But I took the bite just because I wanted to have a moment where I've done something that I told myself I wouldn't do.
Yeah, it's a new show on Netflix. Fresh, fried, and crispy. Rocky Mountain oysters. That just sounds gross. I'm not an oyster guy. Phil, you are an oyster guy big time.
I am, and I've never eaten Rocky Mountain oysters.
So, Rocky Mountain oysters are meatballs, also known as prairie oysters in Canada. It's made of bull nuts. Excuse me? No, it's an oyster. No. It's a grundle. It's one of the grundles. Let me see on how much food we've eaten and how our lifestyle has changed if this is on there. So this is a new report out from 1970 to 2019 talking about the food that we have eaten. There's over 200 items available as far as what we've eaten and how our habits have changed. And I'm looking here. So beef in 1970, 61 pounds of beef, the average human being consumed. Now, chicken tops that. We've dropped almost 20 pounds of beef. About 31% decline. Chicken, in 1970, we only had 22 pounds of chicken. That's what we ate. Now we eat 54 pounds of it on average. Vegetables, potatoes wins always. 1970, 41 pounds of potatoes on average we consumed. The mighty potato still on top, but we're only doing 22 pounds per year. Fruits, apples ruled the roost at one time. 1970, bananas, the king. Orange juice, dominant. If you're looking at grapefruit juice, apple juice, all that stuff, lime juice, way down there. Nope. OJ still doing it. Dairy, though, was very interesting, especially when it came to milk. 1970, we ate 17.5 gallons of milk a year was consumed. Now, plain whole milk, 4 gallons a year. 4 gallons. Where you really see a jump is in grains, like white and whole wheat flour. We'd still at 73 pounds back then. Now it's about 84 pounds, but it's the added fats. Salad and cooking oils, about 14 pounds per year in 79. Now it's 36 pounds a year. Milk, I'm telling you. It's very interesting to see what goes on with milk. And the more and more we move away from that milk does a body good kind of thing, I think we're going to look back sooner rather than later. People say, you shouldn't be drinking any of this stuff. They lied to us. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every one of you. Nowhere on there did I see Rocky Mountain oysters as something we consumed ever, but apparently people do. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The Labor Department reports there were 9.3 million job openings in the month of April. That's an all-time high. Meantime, job layoffs reached their lowest level on record. The data bolsters the case that employers are struggling to hire enough workers as the economy surges back from the pandemic. The number of Americans who quit their jobs in April also reached a record high, a signal that workers are confident they can find employment in other industries if they leave their jobs.
Yeah. If you're a good worker right now, you can go many places. Kind of sky's the limit to a certain extent. If you are saying, the pay's too low. That's what I hear all the time. Pay's too low. Pay's too low. I tweeted something yesterday, and of course, I don't tweet that much. I keep saying, I need to tweet more. I don't want to see fighting. It's like everything just devolves into somebody saying something stupid. And you just can't, it doesn't bother me. What happens is they start fighting on my page. Like, I don't care if you guys fight. Can you take it over there? Fight with each other somewhere else. But it was a Seaside Grill. Slider's Seaside Grill in Flora. Said, sadly, due to government handout, no one wants to work anymore. Therefore, we are short-staffed. Please be patient with our staff that did choose to come to work today. Remember to tip your server. They chose to show up to serve you. And then, of course, people start, oh, well, it's only because they get paid what they should get paid. And you sit there and you're just like, it's a job. Well, they should earn X amount of dollars. Well, first of all, if you ask most tipped employees, especially servers, would you rather make $15 an hour or get tipped? What do you think they would say? Most of them say, well, can I have both? That's not going to happen. So what would you rather have? Well, most tipped employees say, I'd rather get tipped, of course, because I make a lot more than that. Here's something to take into account. Most servers, how many of them work 8 hours a day? Not always. Not a lot. But it's not just the food service industry. Jobs are available out there. Is the unemployment hurting in some areas? Yes, it is. Are some people making true, honest business decisions? Yeah, they are. They're looking around saying, you know what, I don't have anything to do with my kid. And because daycares are having trouble hiring people. Because apparently before the pandemic, all those jobs were okay, but now they've rethought and they said, no, I don't want to do it. So jobs are available. Some people just don't want to work. It's true, but it's always been that way. For unemployment, right now it's better. They're going to write it for as long as they possibly can. That's human nature. But to say that it's only because people don't want to work would be a lie. But to say that there isn't some of that and there isn't something to the unemployment benefits, what are you going to be forced to do if you lose $300 a week for a lot of people? You're going to be forced to go out and get a gig, which will then spur the economy. Yeah, but now you're going to be making less. You don't know that. I mean, the assumption is that every one of these jobs pays $5 an hour, $7.25 an hour, $8 an hour. It's $1.22 an hour plus tips, or whatever that silly thing is when you go. No, these just aren't those gigs. It's the gigs that focus on because it gets people talking. There's also gigs out there for other things. We have 9.2 million jobs. And then you get to the fact that, oh, well, some of these things are just so ridiculous, and it has to do with, like, I think if you flip a hamburger, you should be able to make, $85 an hour. No. It's a fast food restaurant. That's what it is. It's a fast food restaurant. You go in there, you get your food fast. It's what it is. That's it. And using the word restaurant, it's kind of like using it loosely. That's usually a starting position for people. We've made it now. It's like this is the place. Well, let me tell you something. Guess what they're doing? More and more. They're going, how do I eliminate the headache of people?
McDonald's is experimenting with their drive-thru and their fast food chains. They're adding artificial intelligence to drive-thrus. Fast food chain has installed AI robots in 10 Chicago McDonald's, so it doesn't have to employ as many humans. McDonald's insists it's just experimenting with the technology. This is the task that restaurant owners are faced with. They're having a hard time hiring employees.
I think anything that's innovative, that increases productivity and service, it makes the business more productive. I think it's a winner.
Yeah, it is, right? Isn't it a winner? At the end of the day, it's about the customer. If I can make your trek to my facility, whatever it is, my establishment, easy and smooth and better, that is awesome.
Yeah, this is one thing you hear from a lot of restaurant owners, that they're having a hard time filling vacant positions.
But you never lose the human touch in any service business. We are heavily dependent on our great people to do the job that they do. And so innovation, yes. Technology, yes. But you got to have the human touch in there.
Yeah. Got to have the human touch. That's something that's missing. There should just be classes on how to interact with other people. So how do we do this again? How to interact with other people. Be kind. Smile on your face. Be somewhat charming. Engage them a little bit. You'd be surprised how fast you can move up ladders.
Yeah, for those people who are coming into the labor force brand fresh, not old-timers who've been around for a while, the poor, the minorities, the disenfranchised, those with less education, young people who haven't had the job experience, these people aren't worth $15 an hour in most cases. And so therefore, when you have a $15 an hour minimum wage, they don't get that first job. They don't get the requisite skills to earn above the minimum wage. And after a few years, they become unemployable. And after becoming unemployable, they become hostile.
There's something to that. I've said we should do away with the minimum wage. What? Yeah, the way we have it now. Your first gig, right? You're 16, 17 years old. Your first gig. You're probably not. You're still living at home with mom and dad. You're working limited hours. You're probably not worth X amount of dollars. I'd rather pay somebody who's been here a while, who's got experience, a little bit more, and some other people a little bit. It's your first gig. Right? It's your first kind of like gig. It's your first thing. There's zero wrong with that. Right? That's the way, it's, well, that's just wrong. No, it's just, I'm looking at it from a business point of view. If I have to pay you, let's just say you have to pay $15 an hour. This person over here is going to cost me $10 an hour. Right? So he's costing me $80 a day. Or she's costing me $80 a day for a while. Well, they'll get better. Remember, this is a jumping off point. At the end of the day, you start a business. For many, it's a dream, and that dream is to fix a problem or to offer some sort of solution to something. And that is also a solution to you because you're investing money in this business and you want to make money in this. So if you have a bunch of people who are costing you money and they're not bringing in money for something that, let's be real, the margins are tight on, it makes it not worth it.
And that what you'll find happening is this technology has created an underclass of people who are really just bid out of the labor market and will remain out of the labor market for most of their lives. And this, I think, is just a tragedy. I love the technology, but the technology is replacing the jobs for these people. And it's a killer. It's a killer for just the people who need the help the most.
Yeah. The people that you want to help the most are the people that are going to pay the biggest price. Because if you got other skills outside of there, and I've always said, if you want to improve your income, improve your worth to companies, make yourself more valuable than what the standard person would actually get for that position. If it pays $15 an hour, make yourself worth $20, $30. Make yourself valuable to the point where they're going, you know what? Right now, I need you, and I'm willing to pay you more because you're valuable enough. You're giving me $50 an hour or $25 or $30 an hour of productivity. But for a lot. And I'll tell you why, man. Have you been places? Let's be honest. Let's just be honest for a second. Have you been places? Have you talked to people? Have you talked to people? Do you wonder why? How do most of these people actually get employed? There's a lot of people out there that are unemployed for a reason. They're like, well, now we'll just be shorthanded. Yeah. It's not hard. Saying it isn't even, like I'm saying it's coming out of my mouth. Oh, yeah, make yourself more valuable. There's a lot of people out there, you think to yourself, hey, nothing you're going to do is make yourself more valuable. There's just nothing. There's a good portion of people out there who, how they stay employed, how they get employed, I think shocks everybody. I went to get dinner last night. Just wanted a cheesecake today. I didn't want anything too big. You know what I got? I got a giant burrito with avocado. A steak burrito with avocado is not a cheese quesadilla. I looked right at the person and I said, cheese quesadilla. Luckily, I said, I should get a taco. It's Tuesday. I get taco on Tuesday. Otherwise, just, you don't have to wonder. Still hiring good people. Still hiring anyone. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Omaha Steaks. Speaking of good, delicious Omaha Steaks. Amazing Omaha Steaks. Incredible Omaha Steaks. How about this right now? I'll throw you guys a little curveball of fun. Father's Day's coming up, right? Limited time. Amazing offer. Just for my listeners. Just released it. $99. 28 of Omaha Steak's favorite entrees, including 4 bacon wrap fillets, 4 premium boneless chicken breasts, 4 boneless pork chops, 8 gourmet jumbo franks, everything, caramel apple tartlets, you name it, the seasoning that comes with the signature stuff, 8 filet mignon burgers, all for $99. That's 59% saving. Dad's going to love it. It is absolutely incredible. My dad would have the bacon wrap fillets. He would have that would have been it. Are you going to cook all 4, Dad? Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to have one. Oh, you're not getting it. They're for me. Give your dad the gift that is incredible. Give it now. The best grill pack right now. $99, 59% off. All of these amazing things from the franks to the pork chops to the boneless chicken breasts, the bacon, wrap fillets, and 8 free filet mignon burgers, all for $99. 59% off for my buddies over at Omaha Steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com. The keyword is Chad right there in the search bar. omahasteaks.com, keyword Chad. omahasteaks.com, keyword Chad. Don't miss out. omahasteaks.com, keyword Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Deep states? No. Deep doo-doo? Yeah. The Chad Benson Show.
When every couple settles down, goodness will be found. This is the majesty of love. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, Producer Phil, do you know who that is?
I do not.
It's David Hinckley. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a singer-songwriter now. For you guys not keeping score, and you're like, who? David Hinckley Jr. He fell in love with a young lady by the name of Jodie Foster. And in doing so, he tried everything he could to, let's just, to just David Hinckley Jr. tried everything he could to just get her to fall in love. He tried everything. Finally, he got to the point, it's like, I had enough of this. I know you love me. To prove my love, I'm going to shoot the President of the United States. And he did that on March 30th, 1981. And now he's out. He was ruled insane. He thought he was part of Taxi Driver. He thought he was Travis Bickle, and he thought, Jodie Foster loved him, and he stalked her when she was at, where was she at, Harvard or Yale. He was nuts. He was nuts. He's nuts. Now he's out. He's like, I'm free. He's been out for a couple of years, had to live with his mom, and now I think he lives on his own. And now he's got a YouTube channel, and he's a singer-songwriter. So you guys can sit back and enjoy. Funny thing is, had he known how this was going to end when it came to her, I really love her. Yeah, I don't think she likes you. No, but I really love her. I don't think she's, I'm thinking no. I'm thinking wrong team. Thinking of all the teams, wrong team. What are you guys saying? She can't love somebody like me? No, she could love anybody. But how she feels about people like you and me and Phil and Anthony and the males, as far as attraction, could be a little different. It's funny, we did a thing one night with when she was directing her first film, Little Man Tate, and there was a Q&A, and the only thing you couldn't ask her was about him. And she cared about anything else. You couldn't ask about him. It's the only thing she wanted no part of. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every one of you. Looking for something to watch today? Disney, what do you have? And is it woke?
When you mix the God of Mischief from the Thor movies with time travel, you get Loki.
This is absurd.
The new Disney Plus Marvel series stars Tom Hiddleston as the title character who says when he found out about the show,
I was so excited and also had to scratch my head a bit.
Scratch his head because his character died a few movies ago. Show creator Michael Waldron tells us Marvel encouraged them to throw out the rules.
And to go weirder and take chances.
Which seems to have worked. The review so far saying Loki is another Marvel hit, on par with WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Ooh, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Very, very interesting. So Loki, God of Mischief. Check that out if you want. If you're looking for some music, you sit back, relax, and enjoy some David Hinckley Jr. If Bob Dylan would have wrote that, those were all original, by the way. People are like, that's amazing. But that guy wrote it. Could you imagine if he had a hit What do you think every question would start out with? So, tried to kill the president. Let's talk about your new album, Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show.